Welcome to the 1000 GM Player Profiles. I'm here with two amazing players, Grandmaster Dylan Boros and Grandmaster Illya Nyzhnyk.
Hello.
This is very exciting, everybody. We are here on the eve of the Hollywood Masters Super Swiss Tournament. How do you guys feel to be here?
Oh, it's amazing.
Pumped up.
Yeah, very glad
Ready
we made
for the
it
fight.
here.
Yes, you just flew in today, and we are ready for an amazing event. So we're playing a Super Swiss. Can one of you tell us what that means?
So Super Swiss is a big Swiss event with a chance to get a norm. GM norm, IM norm, so International Master norm, if you're not familiar with the terminology, or Grandmaster title norm, so GM norm.
Yeah.
For short.
Thank you. And we have some very strong players playing this event. You guys being one of them, and Nyzhnyk being one of them. Nyzhnyk, if you don't know, is the king of open tournaments. He is not afraid at all to play any event. Is that right?
Also top seed, right? Currently.
Oh,
Last I heard,
Yeah,
he's top.
that would be correct.
All
for
right.
those statements, I guess. I mean, I almost never feel afraid to play, but I sometimes I do feel insecure, especially when I feel like I might not be prepared enough to play in the event. But I would like to believe this is not one of those cases.
okay, great. And you're the top seed.
That's correct.
How does that make you feel?
It's been a pretty common occurrence throughout the past couple of years. It's definitely it's difficult to be top seed in any event. You got harder pairings. You lose more rating if something goes wrong, and
Right.
Just in general the stakes are higher. But I've been doing fairly well as my progress shows. I've been improving, slowly but surely. So I would like to try to keep that up.
Yeah, and you filled in for one of the 1000 GM events. What did you score in that event?
1000 IM, you believe?
Oh, it was the IM event.
Yeah. So it was a last minute thing where a friend of mine who was an organizer, he lost one of the players, so he had to find a substitute last minute, and I so happened to have some free time and substituted for the missing player and went 9 out of 9. But obviously it's an IM norm event,
Right.
where I was pretty much 350 points higher rated than everyone else.
Right.
So nothing really to brag about, but nevertheless one of my best scores in my entire career. Actually, my second perfect score for the.
So he's
past
not
year.
saying it's 9 out of 9,
Yeah.
but it was 100%
100%
score.
score 909. Yes, for the second time this year. I didn't feel particularly great about it, because I just kind of felt it was a bit unfair.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's it takes.
Well, you also filled in last minute with no
Right.
prep.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I was kind of expecting myself to do well regardless, because of
Right.
how much stronger I was in the opposition. But definitely winning, winning even against people as strong as International Masters is definitely a very difficult task.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy the way it played out.
Excellent. And Dennis, have you played a 1000 GM event yet?
I have not.
Great.
I mean, I heard a lot about you all.
Excellent.
And I saw him play in. I didn't see. I saw him online.
I
Awesome.
Didn't quite show up, but I was watching. So in spirits, I was there. Yeah. So this will be my first time playing in a 1000 GM event.
Great. And you're both norm providers.
Yes.
So you're both grandmasters. So you're not here for norms, or even. I mean, maybe you want to improve your ratings. That's probably always something a chess player wants to do. But what drives you to play an event like this, being a norm provider?
Well, of course, you always want to experience. Like, you always want to improve your game. I'm talking in my own name. I want to improve my own game.
Yeah.
Of course, you want to gain rating points. And, these are prized events. So they're prizes to win. And you want to just get better. And, of course, the experience. Because people always look from the juniors' perspective. But even as a title holder, sometimes you're excited to play new players or new upcoming players. I actually played plenty of closed Grandmaster tournaments in St. Louis. And I got to play Christopher Yu when he was just an upshot.
Wow.
I played Mishra. I played Sam Sevian. So I get to experience them maturing and becoming better, and that's very exciting. Playing them early on, and of course
Right.
you want to play them later on too, if you can, because they just have a big spurt there.
Right. Ryan, why would you play this event being the top seed?
Well, definitely, I would definitely agree with Denish's reasonings that, three biggest reasons. So, obviously, for the first, it's good practical experience, with a chance, with a shot to improve the rating. Actually, my personal goal is to become a 2700 player. I'm 13
Great.
points away, so I see this term as a great opportunity to get myself closer. If not there, obviously, I would have to overperform if I want to jump to 2700 in just one sitting.
Yeah,
But
that sounds...
nevertheless, it's a great practical chance to get myself, a couple of steps, or maybe just one step closer to my goal. Prizes are obviously playing a great role in this endeavor, because, well, yeah, you would probably any Grandmaster probably would like to get compensated for their efforts, and
Yeah.
I guess I'm no exception here. Also, I would say I probably put a bit less emphasis on this side of playing, and also experiencing new and rising players is very, very exciting. I also got to play people that Danish mentioned in their early rising, and it was very exciting. And now I'm actually gonna get a chance to play them when they are basically as strong as I am, and that's definitely gonna be a much different of an experience than before.
Right.
So those three reasons, and I've never been to LA.
Oh,
My
great.
reason number 4, never been to LA, so I'm happy to be here, happy to experience the city and
Yeah. I may add that there are plenty of people who love playing just for the competition.
Right.
For I can see, and if you guys haven't seen it before, there's a famous video where Carlsen is actually competing with Levon in pedaling, because they're just competitive by nature. So they just want to compete if they can.
Some kind of bike event?
Well, I think they were, maybe it was something around like swimming.
Oh, okay.
So a small like
in the
pool.
boat maybe or something.
No, I don't think it was a boat. I think it was a swimming competition. Like they were trying to outdo one another. But that's kind of the
Okay.
fascinating stuff that oftentimes even Carlsen is not interested in just winning, but having a fair competition.
Right.
Or having a competition where he can best someone he sees as an equal.
I would totally second that. I do kind of see that for myself, that I oftentimes, even away from chess, I always try to kind of find fair competition, and kind of just it almost feels like as if it's in my blood. Like I just have to constantly look for
Right.
competition, possibilities, and I honestly don't know how to explain it, but I guess that's how I would assume it's how most people on Grandmaster level would feel, because you need to have this drive for
Right.
competing to get to the very top. So.
Right. And you guys did casually mention the prizes, but 1000 GM is dedicated to providing an ecosystem and building this for professional players. What percentage of your income do you think comes from actually winning events and playing tournaments?
So
Can you estimate?
Well, in general, obviously, you get a chunk from prizes, but it's sort of a mix and match.
Right.
You also coach, you do other chess activities on the side. So if it really depends, because some are more successful than others
Right.
playing these open events with prizes, and then it is the majority of their income. But for others, it's sort of half and half. They coach other chess activities, and they do that.
I can obviously share my personal experience, but in before COVID times, I would say 90% of my income would come from actually winning events,
Wow.
winning money in events. Yeah, because I would win everything, and that would just constitute most of my income. But as COVID hit, tournaments moved online, and I wasn't really doing that well in those. So I was kind of seeking income from like other sources like teaching and kind of I also started playing poker professionally.
Oh, great! Wow.
Yeah, and
We'll put a pin in that one. I want to hear about that one.
Yeah, well, that's most of my income now.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Unfortunately,
Okay, very interesting.
I'm not very proud of that, to be honest.
I want to return to the 90% figure real quick, though. How usual or unusual is that players would make that much money from?
I would say it's very unusual for someone on my level back at that time, because I would expect the people in like top 10, maybe top 20 to be earning most of their income from actual tournaments, from like appearance fees and stuff like that. Maybe from sponsorships, etc. But I don't have any sponsorships. I would just, my entire playing career over the years would be just playing open events and nothing else.
Wow.
And I would just be like very successful in early stages, and that's how it kind of was working out for me. But yeah, other people I would assume, because I was winning most of the events, I would assume other people did not have the same experience as I did. So even though they were pretty much the same level as I was, I'm talking about the top 5 people in every event I would constantly play with and against. So it's really hard to say. But yeah, that's just I guess I just got lucky.
Yeah, is this because what I'm going to ask here is there a difference between what a professional player in Europe would make as opposed to in America?
It's a really tough question, because I haven't been. I mean, I guess I just had a vacation in Europe for a couple of months. Decided to spend that time with my family. Fortunately, I could. But I haven't been back to Europe for like basically 8 years.
Oh wow!
Honestly don't remember what it was like. Plus, when I was still in Europe back in my teen years, most of my finances were taken care of by my parents. So I wasn't really sure how much I was spending or winning. Honestly, I would assume I was probably winning a bit more than spending back then. But I think in Europe the competition is just so much higher that it's way more difficult for professional players, Grandmasters, to make a living out of just straight up playing open and closed invitational events.
They get a lot of funding from federations, though, right?
Well, partly federations. Sorry to interrupt there, but federations. But they're having like team events, which is actually, I think, is sorely missing in America.
Oh, interesting.
Because not only do you get to meet people, you also get constant stimulus, playing everyone around the country. And I mean, I know that in America there's some distances, but even in Europe, like in German Bundesliga and Austrian Bundesliga, they do like 3-4 day events, part of the Bundesliga field. So it's basically like a shorter event, but it's a team competition.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
And I do think that it's possible to do in America as well. Of course, obviously, if there's interest. There used to be U.S. chess, like there used to be this U.S. chess league. It's not existent anymore. But I think it's just not in the genes or in the blood of American chess much. But I'm telling you, like, I'm pretty sure it would be something to have.
That's very interesting. Let's talk about norms real quick and what it takes to reach them. If you guys can think back to when you got your titles and what it took to get them, can you estimate how much money that you or your parents spent on them?
Probably a lot.
A lot of money.
It's going to be a substantial investment of not just time, effort, but also financially. I cannot even. Well, I guess my personal case was, or might have been a bit easier, because I somehow magically found success like very early on. So I would suppose that might have offset some of my parents' expenses for keeping me going. But other people may not have the same experience, and that may result in a much greater investment, which not everyone can afford. So It is, yeah, well, definitely budgeting your financing when it comes to going for titles in chess is very important. I would say it's probably one of the most essential things one can do besides actually working and improving your personal game. Yeah.
That's very interesting. How much did you spend, Dennis?
No,
Thousands? Tens of thousands?
also tons of money spent on just playing. These events, they're not cheap, and it takes a lot of effort. But on a side note, there I do have to mention, and some of you may not know, and this is almost like a public information. Recently, they had the Junior World Championships. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So there was the Junior World Championships, and the champion of the open section was Gadim Bailey from Azerbaijan. He was an international master with one GM norm, and with this win, he's a Grandmaster now.
That's right.
So one of those things, and I'm happy to just spread the word. Everyone's playing in these under sections, under 10 to under 18.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're very competitive and you're very excited to have challenges, and of course, if you have the means to, I heavily advise to go to these World Junior events. They're probably the highest quality events out there if we're talking junior chess.
Yeah.
And you can have a shot. So if you're really, really good and talented, it's kind of like the jackpot in chess.
Yeah,
right.
Aren't junior events mostly like award guaranteed title?
Yes,
for
it's
place,
like
right?
a guaranteed title for.
I was like not
Exactly.
catching your point, but now
That's why you got the GM title.
Yeah, and also so that one is also an investment. I think people forget that these junior events are investments if you're trying to become professional or you're interested in being competitive. I can still recall my time when I was playing in these junior events, and I recall, so in this section I saw Vallejo Pons, who was the best Spanish player for a long time. Hikaru Nakamura. I'm not going to list all the accolades. So you could actually go there and see all the top finishers, and there's a high chance that they're going to be on top. Illya himself also played in these events.
Surprisingly, I never won a single
World Youth event.
But I won like a lot of European
champion.
I won like all the European events, all European championship events, but never a World Youth event. I would like always like share first and then be second on tie breaks, or just like lose the last game where I had to win, like which is not working out. Yeah, I remember. I just have like some like childhood trauma about not being able to World Youth events. Yeah.
Okay, we'll transition to that childhood trauma in just a moment. But I want to ask the hard question.
Okay.
It definitely relates to what we were just talking about. Is there systemic discrimination in chess toward financially privileged players? So do they have more access to these events like this Super Swiss, like the norm tournaments, the round robin events that can cost up to like $800? Do they have more access, and do less financially privileged players have less access?
Of course, they do have less access. So support is much, much needed, because talent doesn't necessarily equate background like social background. Talent comes from everywhere. Plenty of players born into poverty became very talented, got some support, and they managed to rise to the top.
Right.
I mean, it's very, very important to get the support. And in fact, and this is just, I can't help it. I have this frenzy of ideas all the time. So I'm going to share. I'm going to share it this time.
Please,
I always think that satellite events are great, because oftentimes you see these norm events, and you're always trying to get the right rating range to make it work. But, if you want to make it fair, you can have satellite events with the people you think are worthy.
Right.
And, whoever wins qualifies, or whatever other criteria you find suitable. And that could be one way of actually promoting someone or giving the opportunity, who otherwise wouldn't have the chance.
This is very similar to the poker world.
Is
There's
it?
plenty of
Satellite
these
events.
there's
Yep.
tons of satellite
Mhm.
events in poker.
I've been playing those.
Oh, yeah,
recently,
actually,
yeah.
true.
Or if you don't have the money to
Yeah.
buy in for $10K, you can play a $1,000 event. You can play a $50 event, and obviously it takes a lot more time and effort from the different levels.
Yeah, honestly, I think we have a lack of this in the chess
Mm.
world, and I think we need to have way more than this. And
Very
and I'm going to be a little critical because I see these, but I wasn't too happy with the ones I saw. Like, I'm more for equal competition.
Yeah.
Like, for example, let's say, okay, we've got a group of talented kids who come from different backgrounds. That's a perfect satellite event.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's a player who has great talents or capabilities, but maybe just not there with rating yet.
Yeah.
But they can show their merit at the chessboard.
Right.
But I do see many online events. They say it's a qualifier, and they come from one country, and I'll be like, why did we decide that nobody else is going to qualify? I'm like, I'm not against, of course, I'm all for qualification, but I want fair qualification to happen.
Very interesting.
I was actually a beneficiary of one of those cases that you just discussed, where I wasn't quite there rating wise. Actually, it happened during my my first time playing in Tata Steel event, right? So
Yeah.
in Vacancy, I believe it was back in 2011. I was playing in a C group. Back then, they still had three groups, A, B, and C. And then the amateur section. I think it was just an open event. So I was playing in the C group. It was closed invitational, just like A and B. So A group had Magnus and all the top guys. B group had like really strong Grandmasters up to 2700, and then C group had like 26 and 2620 and below. So I was playing that section, and then I was playing a decisive game against the Italian Grandmaster Daniele Boccaturo.
Oh, wow.
And he was leading. He was half a point ahead of me, and I was trailing by half a point. He was clear first. I was clear second. So the last game we were playing this crazy game in Sicilian defense, like some really crazy Sicilian defense variation where he went all out for some reason. He was playing wide, and all he needed was a draw just to secure first place. But he went all out and sacrificed half of his set, and it was just not working. And I just kept taking stuff. But then like when he exhausted his attacking capabilities, I relaxed and blundered the perpetual check.
Oh no!
And then the game ended in a draw. He ended up winning and qualifying for the B group. But nevertheless, I still got invited to play in the B group, despite the fact that I didn't qualify, and I didn't have good enough rating to play there. But I still got the benefit of the doubt from the organizers because it was just like an accident in the last game. I guess that's why I was given a chance. So
well, that's excellent.
I benefited from this myself, and if more people, more organizers could be like that, it would definitely be beneficial for chess overall, I believe.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that input, guys. 1000 GM needs your support, so please donate today. Hit that donate button. There's a link in the description, so make sure you click like and subscribe as well. Okay, let's move on, because I want to hear about your guys' childhood.
Oh.
All the trauma.
It's gonna
All
be
the
sad.
drama.
It's gonna be sad. Get your handkerchiefs ready.
So, no, but the first question is pretty easy. When did you first start playing chess, and what got you into it?
So I got started. I didn't really start. My brother started. He was a junior player, and he was playing all these junior events in Hungary, and was trying to qualify. Surprise, surprise! To the Junior World Championship.
Oh, okay.
And sadly, he didn't quite make it, but had a good run. He finished second. So, actually, if you do not know, most of these national opens, they're really competitive. Because, number one, might get some support, and you are supported and sponsored to go to the championships. Maybe number two sometimes get something.
We also had this system.
Exactly. So, but 3, 4, forget about it. You get
wow.
nothing. So,
that's brutal.
it's probably very similar in Hungary and Ukraine.
Yeah.
That first gets all the perks, and
Maybe
you
second
you
place.
go maybe second, but then steep dive. So but really what I was trying to say here is that I got interested in chess because of my brother. I was just wondering, what is my brother doing, and I was like peeking in what they're doing with that guy there.
That's great.
And that was the coach.
Oh wow.
So I started from there, and I started playing junior event. I mean, not junior events, but under 10 to under 18. And by the way, and this is just a side note, if any of you are interested in becoming a player, definitely advise you to play these events. I actually think that it's best to play in the group which is closer to your rating. Don't pay too much attention to these gender sections, because they're trying to divide it by boys and girls. I'd always go with, hey, if I'm 2100, doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, you play in the section that is closer to your rating. So if you're 2100, you're a girl, but you're just at the same level as the guys. Try it out. And by the way, whenever you play these events, there's 2 years. There's 2 year sections. One of the sections is when you're the younger one, and one when you're the older one. So you always have a year to experiment. And in fact, just so you'll know, that's how Judith Polgar actually reached the top. She actually played in the section that was closer to her rating, and she often won the open section that way. I mean, that is the boys section. And when she actually was around 18, 19, she was already top 50 in the world.
Wow.
Because the problem is, if you're only playing in the group that has a lower rating, you're not going to grow as fast as the others. The big advantage that people have there is that you grow with all the rivals together.
Yeah.
And you're there for 8 years.
Right.
Imagine.
Right.
Imagine swimming with Phelps for 8 years.
Right.
You're gonna be a decent swimmer.
My friends did.
Oh, your friends did?
Yeah, I'm from Phoenix. Phoenix Swim Club.
Oh, cool.
So they did. yeah. And
So-
they were good.
Yo,
Yeah.
so things just rub off.
Yeah.
So I'm all for this, and I wanted this to get this word out. It's very important because people don't talk about this at all.
Yeah.
They just put it on the side, but really shouldn't be the case.
Let's put a pin, because I want to hear
Yeah.
about Polgar and Hungary and how
Yeah.
it relates to your development
Mhm.
as a chess player. But let's hear
Yeah.
Illya
go
first
ahead.
here. Where was-
you want to hear me kind of add to what Danish has just said? Because like honestly, my personal experience has been a bit different with these like youth events. I would say that I didn't really see that much growth playing these events, and plus, I honestly I believe my parents also saw that I wasn't really enjoying that. I believe that the chess game, or the I'm not even sure how to explain this, but it felt like a different kind of game when I was playing these youth events. It felt like I had to like deploy different kind of strategies to win. Like I could like just confidently go for like trapping stuff. But when you play in like just open events like with adults, this stuff just doesn't fly most of the time.
Yeah.
When you play people, adults of similar level to the kids, it feels different. And I definitely am not denying the fact that some people may find playing in these youth events beneficial and may improve, but I also feel like it would probably be a good idea to mix the two a little bit. That's definitely the way I've done it. Up until I think my very last youth event happened when I was 16. I played in World Youth Under 20. I played it horribly. I think I was at 30 ELO points there, and it was like no, not 16. What am I saying? 13. Yeah, I was still international master back then, and it just wasn't my event at all. And that was the last time when I played youth events, and ever since I've been focusing on just normal open events.
Yeah, but when was the first time that you started playing?
Oh, well, I learned chess at the age of 4. I was almost 5, actually.
Wow.
Honestly, it's hard to say what made me pick up chess. Well, based upon what my parents have been telling me is that I've had like a very extreme case of ADHD, and they just couldn't handle me, so they were like desperately trying to find something just to make me sit still for a minute, so that they can have like at least like a bit of time to breathe freely. And it just worked somehow. It just magically worked. I got hooked up. I was kind of mesmerized by the game, by how the pieces moved. My dad even bought a Fisher. There was some chess software that could play itself. There was like two chess engines playing
Is
themselves.
this Wizard
Chess?
one?
Yeah, some
So it's,
Fisher
it's
Wizard something.
I think it's Memphis 5000.
Something.
So it like this it's basically a blue wizard. No, it's a wizard on the.
I've never even heard of this.
I don't.
Really?
I grew up with this stuff.
I've heard of it, but I'm not sure if that's what
Memphis
it was.
5000.
It was something Fisher, something related.
Oh, it's Fisher related?
Something
Okay.
Fisher related. Yeah, the name of the software at least.
Okay.
So I would just like watch how the pieces moved, and like my parents would just do that. You know, like how parents like let their kids play on the computer just so that they leave them alone for a bit. So that's what my parents would do when I would get overly annoying, I guess. They would just like turn on this chess software and let me watch how the program plays itself. And,
Oh wow.
And then like it took me I think like less than half a year to just by watching, just not even playing, by watching I just learned how to play.
Wait, how old are you, Ilya?
Right now?
Yeah.
Actually 26.
26. So this is what?
22 years.
Around 2000, around 1995.
2001, I think.
2001.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
That's very interesting. So you're born in 95, right? Or
96.
96. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2001. Well, that's kind of interesting because like I was playing on ICC in 2001.
I was spending a lot of time on ICC as well. But then as soon as my parents realized that I knew how to play chess, my father actually started playing with me, and I think it took me like another month or months and a half to learn how to beat him like on a consistent basis.
Oh, nice.
That was the time when my parents were like, okay, that's probably a good time to take him to a chess school actually. In Ukraine and Russia and probably other Slavic countries, they have like schools specifically dedicated for board games such as chess and checkers.
Did that excite you?
Yeah, I was very excited. Plus, I got to play chess. I got to do what I really liked at that point. I got to play chess with other kids, and there was like a little bit of a magical story where my parents took me to a chess school like for the very first time, and I was so little. I was like 5, and like the youngest kid in the group was like 9 or 10. So the teacher didn't want to take me because of how young I was. So they made me play a tournament against like other students. It was a pawn tournament, where you would just have king and pawns versus king and pawns.
Yeah.
And whoever would take one of their pawns to the other side of the board would win the game. So I won all games in the tournament. And I was accepted immediately upon the
Oh, you won the pawn game.
I won every game in the tournament. Somehow they immediately.
So that was basically a trial.
Yeah, it was a trial that I passed
yeah.
with 100% accuracy, and then that's just kind of started rolling from there.
That's really interesting.
I've been improving at a drastic rate. I don't know why. It's just kind of. It just clicked, sometimes you just start doing something and you're just liking it so much, you're spending time in it, you're just living it, and I guess that's what's been happening.
That's very exciting. So yeah, let's talk about the culture of Hungary and Ukraine. Very long traditions when it comes to chess. Hungary having Polgar sisters and many strong players before then. And then obviously Ukraine being part of the former Soviet Union, which dominated chess all around the world. So, did you guys feel this in your respective countries? Especially with you, Dennis. With obviously you mentioned Polgar. Was she a big inspiration?
Of course, Polgar was a big inspiration, but we also had Leko and Almashi.
Right.
And so it was all three of them who were really inspiring. And before them, we had. Olympic champion team from 1978.
That's right.
Buenos Aires, and that was a very, very inspiring story. How they basically overcame everyone that Olympiad. I mean, of course, So we had this new coming generation, the Polgar sisters, Leiko and Almashi, but before that, we had the whole team of 1978, but mostly Portish.
Right, Portish, yeah, that's right.
And thankfully, he's still in good spirits as
That's
far
pretty
as
amazing.
as far as I remember, and knock on wood. I mean,
I kind of expect the Ilya to knock on your head.
well, yeah, I'm not sure if it's wood.
That would be a compliment. The
Yeah.
fedora made of wood. That's
The fedora made of wood. I like that one. But yeah, for sure. We had a big chess tradition. I think it does come from the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and I think that there could be some connection there, because if you do not know, with the exception of Ilya, most of the Grandmasters and Super Grandmasters from the times, the older times, and even recent times in Ukraine, the city of chess is Lviv. Everyone is from Lviv. Michal Chishin, a very, very famous Ukrainian coach, Belyavsky, the legendary player.
Right.
He played the quarterfinals against Kasparov when Kasparov made his World Championship run. I believe even the Muzyczuk sisters are from there, or if they weren't, I'm pretty sure they lived in Lviv.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, we know that Yefim Geller was. He was the second of Karpov and Kasparov. Very legendary, great player. And I didn't list them all. I still missed 50.
Ilya's from a younger
generation,
generation,
so he
so
might
I'm
know
curious
better.
to see who inspired him too, because he's from a younger generation.
Yes.
Well, I don't really know much of chess history, honestly, but I do remember there being Ruslan Ponomarev and Vasily Ivanchuk. Always kind of
he's
look up
also
to them, you know.
Right.
That was the time I remember Ruslan Ponomarev becoming a world champion, a FIDE world champion, right?
That's right.
But
and
also one thing that I wanted to add is Vasily Ivanchuk is also from Lviv.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you're onto something.
I mean,
Spin-off podcast.
That's a different part. That's the Lviv conspiracy.
There is some strange connections there. Well,
I mean, the last thing that I wanted to mention here is that I think, as I know, there was a lot of influence of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I mean, obviously on Hungary, but also on the other areas around that. And Lviv was probably one of that. Chess was a very big thing. Everyone loved playing chess in these pre-World War times. Anyways, back to you.
To me.
Back to you.
I'm done yet.
I'm done. I'm done.
Alright, I mean, what am I supposed? What would
Oh yeah. No, it's fine. Well,
I
I guess mostly who were your great inspirations?
Well, I mean, definitely Ruslan Ponomarev and Vasily Ivanchuk. I mean, I honestly cannot think of. Well, I mean, there were I've worked with a lot of people. You know, Adrian Michalcheshin. I've worked with Vladimir Baklan, with Tukmakov. Right. It's just so many names. It's just, once again, mentioning them all. It's I can, but it's gonna take a while. But I definitely worked with a lot of great people, a lot of legendary players and legendary coaches, right? So
What age did you move to America?
When I was 17.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay. So you've been here for a while.
Basically 9 years.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I do want to ask. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but obviously, it's topical and important. What is your family doing to stay safe, and how's everybody in Ukraine?
Yeah, it's a really sad question for me to answer. Obviously, my family is safe, thankfully. Some of my family members moved out to Europe. My mom, my sister, my sister's daughter. My mom's sister and her children. So they're safe. They live in Netherlands now. But my father remains in Kiev, and so are two of my grandfathers. One of them is in Kiev, the other one is in Vinnytsia, my hometown. They're still there, but they're safe, fortunately, and seems like they're hanging in just fine. Well, probably not just fine, but they're hanging in there. So
Okay, good.
I hope they keep doing the same and that they stay safe. That's unfortunately all I can say for about this
I
right
understand,
now.
but we hope that everybody stays safe, and
It's truly a very unfortunate turn of events, especially this year has been not a very good year for me, not just in this regard but in other regards. But I hope next year will be. Well, fortunately next year is pretty close. So
well, I mean, it's such a tragic thing. I mean, I hope the American government continues to support Ukraine. And
I definitely am thankful to the US government for supporting, and to other countries, as a matter of fact, for doing the same.
How do you play chess through all that personal stuff?
Actually,
I mean, I think this will be generally a question for you too, Dennis, even in your life in other areas. But how do you keep going when there's something tragic like that?
I don't know. Like, there was this this basically a very interesting story, because like right when that happened, I was kind of scheduled. I was scheduled to play in the Spring Invitational in St. Louis. It's a pretty it's a very strong, or maybe one may even say a series of strong closed invitational events held by St. Louis Chess Club. So it was scheduled to happen on in the beginning of March, right? So March 1st, I believe, was like players meeting and stuff, and then the official war began on February 28th.
Oh wow!
So it was right then, and I just. The first couple of days of it happening, I was just not sleeping, and just watching news and trying to stay in touch with my family and stuff. But then they talked me out of it. They finally talked me out of it and kind of like put me on the right track of trying to stay focused on the event, and I somehow it was difficult to do, but I've managed, and actually, as a matter of fact, I've done very well in the event. I did not expect myself to do well at all, especially after what was happening. But I actually shared first place there, which is incredible. I don't know. I don't know how I'm able to cope with it, but well, I have to, right? I have no choice. So I just have to keep going, and sometimes you just there's only one way. Most of the times there's only one way. It's forward, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's important to take a couple of steps back, but most of the time you would still want to move forward no matter what you do. So that's what I'm trying to do. Try not to kind of over worry myself too much, even though it's difficult. So
I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing. Actually, Dennis, one of the things that I think you could give a lot of insight here, if the audience doesn't know, Dennis has a background in psychology. So can you speak to how a chess player can block out or focus on chess games when so many different things are going on in people's lives? I mean, people have things going on every single day, and chess players are just people like anybody else. How do chess players do that?
I mean, there's fortunately or unfortunately there's no cookie cutter answer for that. Some are just blessed to have great focus. And I think I can say that Illya definitely actually has that hyper focus.
But he had ADHD. How is
I
that possible?
I still don't want to sleep.
Well, there is such a thing called willpower. Now, of course, there's a different debate what people think about willpower, but I believe that exists. And okay, statisticians will decide whether it exists or not. It's their problem. But I definitely feel that Ilya's greatest thing is his focus. Or whenever he's focusing or he's trying to focus on a goal, he's set on achieving it. Whenever he said the only way is forward.
The most difficult part is to start for me. But once that's done, that's basically 80% of the work done for me. If I get the thing I want to get done started, it's gonna get done. But the most problematic part is to actually get it going.
I think that's a challenge for most people, especially with studying chess, right? Why is that? What is the psychological thing about that?
Well, I think that people have plenty of misconceptions of chess. I think people believe, oh, if I have a winning position, I won. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
It's the most difficult skill that not everyone possesses, right? Actually,
Exactly.
winning
Yeah,
positions.
100%.
Like-
100%, yeah.
And that's kind of the thing, that there are plenty of steps you have to take, and you have to work all the way through, and it's not easy to accomplish. And I think that that's an issue that people don't even recognize, or sometimes they deny problems they have. Oftentimes we just deny that I have an issue with something. I mean, don't we all? We
Yeah.
love denying things that we
Running away from problems. And
exactly
Stuff like that. It's just
running,
human nature, right?
running from problems, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean that's just very human of all the chess players as well, is that they're just running away from all the problems.
So are you saying that especially in related to chess,
Mhm.
a strong player needs to have the ability to self-criticize
Yes.
and not run away from those
Yes,
problems, right?
and in fact, I'm happy to quote someone who was 50 and was improving.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about, of course, Viktor Korchnoi.
Oh wow.
And it's very important to note that it's not really the age that determines you, but the motivation and the focus and the effort.
Right.
And Korchnoi had that and almost became a world champion.
Right, by the
Um,
smallest margin.
and
Just it, yeah.
just by that sheer determination he had.
Right.
And there is this unhealthy view on being young or being 15 or 16 and 17.
Mhm.
But even if you'll be 22, because eventually you'll be 22, trust me, that happens to all of us. You grow older.
Can I still eventually be 22? I would
Yeah,
love
you
that.
Dennis is hoping
you're
he'll go back
probably
to-
not gonna get there, but maybe we're working on it. We're working on it.
We go all the way around.
We're going around. We're gonna loop it somehow.
Hopefully there will be such technology, you know.
But for sure, it's about the will to self-improve.
Yeah.
And credit where credit is due. Sam Shankland, he has this self-criticism, and that's why I think he made these huge leaps and bounds, because he was willing to put in the effort and say, oh, I was wrong here, here, here.
Right.
I have to plug those holes.
Right.
And many others who are talented or very, very good already, they're just unwilling to just plug in those holes, even when they're offered a helping hand that, hey, I'll be there, I'll help you this way, I'll help you that way. They decide, oh, it's just good enough.
Right.
But, there's no shame if you're trying to improve. And, sometimes people want to help. So
Right.
just take on.
Excellent. Okay, so I would definitely be remiss if I didn't talk about streaming and chess. So obviously, streaming has led to a huge boom online, at the very least, and obviously, and it kept a lot of players afloat through the pandemic. Can you guys first talk about your experience in streaming? I know you guys have channels, and you have many viewers that, well, each have a channel is what I meant. Yeah, you each have a channel.
We have that
Just one.
channel,
Just one channel.
which is
Oh, you share the same channel.
Yes, it's both.
I should have known that, but
No, I mean, okay.
Okay. let's hear it.
Disclaimer: Ilya's been hiding. He's working on 2700. It's gonna be 2750, but it's
Right.
okay. That's my
He's
personal
working
opinion.
on
That's my
2700.
That's my personal opinion. Anyways, we started the ChessWeeb channel together,
Okay.
and he's busy playing tournaments. So time and time again, he streams.
Oh, I see. I didn't know this was the origin story of the ChessWeeb channel.
Actually, there was three of us originally. It was Danish, myself, and Ashwin Charan, Grandmaster from India, also a good friend of ours.
Oh,
But
great.
Ashwin, Ashwin, it was really difficult for Ashwin to stream.
So you're
He
saying
didn't
he's
quite.
out.
He didn't
He's-
quite enjoy it.
He's not a good multitasker when it comes to streaming,
Right.
talking,
It's
thinking.
hard.
It's difficult. Yeah.
How much does your rating go down when you're playing and talking?
Oh yeah. Actually, I think easy. I've spent 80% of my concentration on talking to chat. And
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
people, answering people's
Which
questions.
is the number one job.
Yeah, right. But I also enjoy doing it more than actually just playing.
Okay,
Which
okay.
is weird, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure actually it's worse for your game necessarily. Like
No.
it's so there is a level of sports psychology here. For example, I think if you're really good at the game already,
Right.
it's not gonna hurt you that much.
Right.
oh,
Right.
now is a good example. Of that.
So and if you're good enough, so let's say I think if you're a national master or an international master, doing streaming is not that bad because at least you articulate your thoughts.
Right. Right.
Everyone attacks the game differently, but some just thinking moves, they don't articulate, oh, I do this because of that. So I think for some it actually improved their game. So I don't think it actually hurts you necessarily. That is something that, you know, I'd be happy to hear from other streamers. I'm very curious if, I don't think Hikaru got that question before, but I definitely think that articulating your plans, I don't think really hurts you.
No, I mean Hikaru is just so quick that it's just there's like a gazillion of videos of him just like drawing like 10,000 arrows on the board. Like, oh, if I do this, my opponent does that. This. You know, I oftentimes like I thinking of, I honestly just oftentimes just forget that I'm supposed to be drawing for the audience. You know, especially when I'm trying to focus on the game. I'm like, okay, I'm focusing on the game. It's difficult to do. I mean, that's why I'm prefer to actually focus on the chat instead of focusing on the game. Kind of take it easy in an actual game. So you know, but people like Naka who are just you know, they're just so quick and they're easily switching between the two focus states, right? It's just, you know, they clearly are. Clearly he's not suffering from it, right? He's definitely
true,
enjoying.
right?
You know, he's. Yeah. I'm making a more of a personal example here using Naka. I guess I'm using the toppest of the chess streamers here. I guess that's all.
Tell us in the chat, Naka.
Right. But yeah. You know, I'm not quite there yet, not on that level, but you know, maybe one day I'll maybe if I do this enough.
What level do you think you guys are in streaming right now? Are you a national master? Are you international master? Are you grandmaster?
Depends on the content that we put out, I guess.
I think we're kind of the person that they go, I think I've seen your face before. I know you. I know I'm
but
somewhere.
Can't
quite remember who you are.
Yeah.
Why are you here again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wait, so ChessWeeb.
Yeah.
What is a weeb?
Negative connotation, right?
Well, it's not really like originally. It's not negative.
Right.
It refers to someone who wants to be or live like a Japanese person.
Oh.
But it really refers to the love of anime, as far as I understand it. And now we're going to get all the negative information.
Wait, that was the original.
Well, that's how we understand it, but in reality, Veep has a negative connotation.
I understand, but that's not what.
But that's not what we are. Yeah, people will quickly understand that that's not what it means.
Stand for. Yeah.
By watching streams.
There are many terms that have been flipped.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
From negative connotation to a positive.
Yeah.
I actually think it's really fun because it's totally different than anything out there.
Mm-hmm.
You've been able to brand yourself in a really interesting way. How big is your audience now?
Oh, so we're around 25,000 followers.
Great.
We're inching slowly.
Thanks to this gentleman right here. Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Who treats it as a job.
But it's not. I mean, we gotta mention that we've got plenty of friends. Like, so one of the background stories, of course, Illya was the one who came up to me that, let's do some. Wait, I have something to say. I got something to say. So Illya did come up to me that, why don't we stream? I distinctly recall that, and we'll see what he has to say. Anyways, but then we met with Andrea Botez.
Okay. Very nice.
And we did commentary at a girls' invitational.
Botez sisters.
The Botez sisters.
Yeah.
And she said, "Do you guys want to stream?" And we said, yeah. So she literally, like, of course, when you're doing commentary,
Yeah.
you don't know what's happening, and of course, I was like, what is Twitch and what's going on?
Right.
And
yeah.
she was like literally coaching. I don't know if it was coaching Ilya, but was coaching me, and it was like, thank the follower for following
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and she was very supportive. So this is one of those things that I really wanted to get out there, that we didn't just get big, we actually got very lucky to have friends with the Botez sisters, and especially Alexandra, and also Eric Rosen. So they were really, really helpful. Yeah?
And Eric Hansen too.
Yeah, Eric Hansen, like, this was my personal experience. You had more talk with
Eric Hansen is Chess Bros.
Chess Bros, correct.
Chess Bros, yeah.
In fact, I believe he taught you English.
Yeah, it's funny. I was learning English watching Eric Hansen.
Oh man, this interview is rapid speed.
Yeah,
Wait, Eric Hansen taught you English.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Kind of. Okay, no,
let's hear
well,
this. How?
Well, he didn't. I mean, I would just be watching.
Oh, just watching this. Yeah.
But I mean, that was like
Yeah.
my go-to. I wouldn't watch movies in English. I
Okay.
wouldn't watch like whatever anime in English. I would watch Eric Hansen's stream.
Right.
In English.
Well, it's because you share a common language, chess.
Pretty much,
Right?
yeah.
Like
yeah,
you
and
have the common language of chess, so it makes sense. Yeah.
And then back in those days, I just found his like stream like oddly charming. It was just him and just like a very like kind of I don't want to say a weird environment, but he would be streaming from a very like, extremely tiny room, and it was just like this music, like this hyped up music, and Eric playing and like being upset about losing and stuff. It wasn't like very well developed back then.
No, he had like basically like techno, right? Or was it?
Yeah, I believe
like,
it.
All kinds of different
Electronic.
Oh, you're talking about music. I'm talking about chess streaming in
EDM.
general, because he
yeah.
was. I would say I wouldn't go as far as to say he was one of the chess streaming founders, but he was definitely up there because.
Well, I interviewed Dennis on my show, way back. I don't know if you remember. I did a big Sunday chess show. I interviewed you for one of them, all the way back in like. I don't even know what year, like 2016, 17?
Oh wow, it's
like a long time ago.
We were still roommates back then.
Yeah. It's not for me because I teach too much and I can't like go on and talk after I've been talking all day.
Yeah. Actually,
it's difficult. It's difficult.
I found myself like losing my voice at some point.
I mean,
it's
you
very,
always
very
have to get some liquid. You dry up, like.
Yeah.
I don't drink very much.
But you drink water.
Not very much, yeah.
You're gonna have to.
These days I drink
water.
way more than.
I mean, my dad worked in a radio, so I knew I saw the techniques used.
Oh, very nice.
So
So you had some showbiz in your blood.
You could say that. You could kind of say that. But.
What was your father? What was your father broadcasting on radio?
He's basically a radio. He was
DJ?
like a Howard. No, Howard Stern.
Oh, wow.
In Hungary.
Oh wow, crazy.
Okay.
So
that's very interesting.
Yeah, literally, and.
Wait, what did he think of you playing chess?
Oh, the funny thing is that you've got all this scandal and all the theories.
Yeah.
So my dad was doing a Howard Stern kind of show, and he had a co-host. So the co-host fabricated very similar stories about me.
Oh, no way!
Yes!
Oh, wow, we gotta clip those. Where are those?
Yeah, I don't even know. They could be circulating
we gotta give
online,
those to the 1000 GM organizers.
Oh.
Okay, so we gotta wrap up soon, but actually, one thing that's very pertinent to this interview is, how did you guys meet?
Oh.
We were roommates in Webster University. Danish was my very first roommate.
Oh, wow.
Back in the days when we both still studied at Webster, and yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was 2014 through 2016, I believe.
Wow,
like,
great.
3 years, pretty much, yeah.
You're still friends after being roommates.
No.
This
is
it's
the
just love
last
relationship,
day.
only business only, you know.
Business only.
Just trading the apartment costs. And stuff.
Nah, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Thanks. This is the official breakup video.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Dylan.
I meant to do this for a long time now, but we have to let the show
Yeah, we
go.
have to.
Oh, no.
Dylan, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we couldn't make this official.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now as we have some viewership going, now we can make
thank
it
you.
public.
Right.
You know,
Right.
subscribe to him
Okay.
because
Please
he
do.
deserves
All right.
all the
Well,
credit.
well, thank you for joining me, guys. I really
Yeah,
appreciate that. Good luck in the event.
Thank you, Dylan.
You know, all the pressure's on you, Illya.
Not all.
And Dennis is just gonna have some fun and beat some players.
Yeah, he's
just gonna have all the fun.
No,
I don't want to have fun. I want to win.
He's undercover. He's my undercover second. And
Yeah, that's true.
His job on the side
That
is
makes
actually
sense,
playing.
yeah.
So you don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna make sure I win, but then he's also gonna do well. So that's the plan.
Oh well. I hope we can talk more over the event. I hope you guys are winning, so you'll want to talk to me, even if you
Even
do
if
lose.
I lose, I can
come
still
back.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
come
like
back and talk.
talking nonsense on camera.
Okay, great.
All right.
Great. We love it too. So thank you again, Grandmaster Dennis Boros, and Grandmaster Illya Nyzhnyk. We appreciate you coming, and we'll see you at the top of the leaderboard.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.